Hi everybody, this is Alan with headphonereviewhq.com, and today I'm doing a review of the Baldoor M1s. First, let's talk about the design and the fit and finish and the build quality of the M1s. So first, as you can see, they're plastic all the way around. They come in multiple different colors. I was sent the red for this review. And on the inside, you'll see that they have, it says Baldoor left and right, and they did a little design thing so that the L in the middle of Baldoor represents your left and the R represents your right at the end. There is no, as far as I could tell, there is no way to actually feel if one was left or the right. But if you have your headphone cable plugged in, that's your left ear. So that's at least one way to know. As far as the plastic itself, it seems to be fairly resilient. It seems to be pretty durable. I've thrown it in my bag, carried it around, so while I was listening to these, I was, kind of giving their workout. It does feel like they're decently sturdy. I don't know how long they'd last if you abuse them too much, though, because you can kind of pull on the edges here, and I don't know. I would just be a little bit careful with these if you do plan on getting a set. The ear pads themselves were a little frustrating to me. These actually hurt my ears. The bottom of them is fairly firm padding, and in the middle it feels like there's a pad that runs across it, and then it's soft up top. And being that these are plastic, you can't really break these in or expand them like you would a set that have a metal headband going through the middle. So I didn't want to chance breaking them. So they're clampy, and the ear pads themselves are a little bit firm for my liking, especially down at the bottom. It took me several days to even be able to get used to wearing them. Now I can wear them. They're not comfortable, but they're not as uncomfortable to me anymore. They do extend out in a nifty kind of way. So you can see here the bottom of this is there. As it clicks up, that kind of disappears into it. And Baldoor is written all over these things, so it's right there. It's on the inside of both ear pads, and it's on the headband as well, and it's also on the cable. So design-wise, they're definitely a different take. I don't know that I personally love the way they look, but they're not bad. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of style you're going for. I do happen to like the cable quite a bit. On the one side that doesn't have like a little notch at the end of the 3.5 millimeter jack, that's the side that goes into your left ear cup. Now the other side has a little notch or a little nub down at the fat end of it, to where if you have a phone case or something like that, that will give you enough leeway in most cases to where you don't have to take your case off your phone or your listening device. Now, I haven't tried it with something like an OtterBox. I know those things are pretty aggressive as far as the cases. It may or may not work with that, but I do know with my Nexus 5, it was able to fit in there fairly well with no problem. Actually, it's perfectly snug. So that is a nice feature. And again, the cable itself is high quality. It's got like almost like a rubberized type feel to it. It won't tangle up, and it's just long enough to where you can put the headphones on your head, throw your listening device in your pocket, plug it in, and it's perfect. So I really do like that. Overall, I gotta say the build quality seems to be pretty decent. So first, let's talk about the bass in the M1s. They actually do a decent job. They extend down pretty low, and while not the hardest hitting set of headphones I've ever put on my head, they will actually play with most genres pretty well. I found no problem listening to hip hop and rap. Sure, there are other headphones out there, Beats and V-Modas and some of the others that will definitely hit harder, go louder, and even extend a little bit deeper. But these actually do sound pretty good. I will say that they seem fairly controlled. I never really had any problems with them clipping out, so that was a nice thing. So the mid-range on the M1s was a little frustrating to me. And the reason being is they leaned more towards the hot side of things, with almost a hollow type sound, because part of the mid-range is a serious dip where male vocals and even female vocals come through, to where you get more of the higher sound and none of that part that gives it some body. I really noticed this initially when I put on the song by Nico and Vince, Am I Wrong? This wasn't even A-Being headphones. This was just putting these on and listening. and it felt like I was almost in a room that was, you know, too big, and I was missing some of that vocal, like an acoustically bad room. So it's interesting because it's not terrible, but it's definitely noticeable. Like voices don't sound natural coming through these. Moving up into the treble was actually pretty decent. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too laid back. There was a good amount of detail, and it filled in pretty well with the mid-range and the bass as well. So I didn't feel like that was lacking at all. So again, the mid-range was the weak spot on these, and I wish it hadn't been to that level of noticing, because again, I wasn't even A/B'ing these with any other headphones. I just noticed when I put them on that it was missing. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to talk about the noise blocking or noise leakage whenever you're listening. So when you put these on, they muffle a little bit, not much at all. But I did notice they seem to have a tendency to leak some sound, and I don't know if it's because of the way the cups are, but let me go ahead and play a little something here. I've got this turned up about moderate. So the microphone's literally just below where you can see here. So that's what you'd hear if you were that close, and obviously as you move further away. And again, I've said it before, with the Nexus 5, it can't even really go that loud anyways. But I will say it did power these pretty well. So in that realm, as far as what these things need to be driven, even my Nexus 5 can drive them. If my Nexus 5 can drive them, pretty much anything can, because this thing has one of the worst amps I've ever seen. It's the weakest amp. It doesn't sound bad, it's just very weak. Okay, so let's wrap up on the M1s. Who are these things for? Pretty much anybody that's looking to wear something that is just totally different than what anybody else out there is wearing. The sound quality itself is okay. It's not bad, it's not great. It's literally just kind of average. In this price range at about $60 to $70, there is a ton of competition out there. And so I feel like they've got their work cut out for them. Again, the comfort was an issue for me at least the first few days, so that's something else to consider. But overall, they're a cool looking set of headphones. I definitely took some design chances with these, and they look different. And if you're into having something that's, you know, a design statement, then maybe these are worth taking a look at. So I do want to say thank you to Chintek for sending these out to me to review. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and as always, I give my most honest opinion that I can. So if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them in the forum below. And as always, I will try and answer them as quickly as possible. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go check me out on Headphone Review HQ. Hit me up on Facebook at Headphone HQ and Twitter at Headphone HQ. So I will be back very soon with a ton more. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.